Okay, there. I finally found my D20. Okay, well, without further ado,
Right.
let us. Does anybody make a joke in French about that? Ado. Does that ever
Jesus
happen?
Christ. Jesus
It
Christ.
just
Never heard of
occurred to
that.
me.
It ought to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
makes no sense, does it?
That's exactly. No, that's
Okay.
horrible. Can anybody remember who got hammered worse last time or at the end last time?
So last time we did it, we started a scene, but we didn't finish it because I
That's
was kind
right.
of blocked.
It was the
Yeah.
first. It was the first time we cut in the middle.
Yeah.
So, geez, what was happening?
I was getting married to Diamonds.
Oh, yes.
Um,
And if I recall, the attacking player was it Angel? Okay, that's right. We had sort of created this little terrible duel between your two characters that you can't seem to escape.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I wasn't in that scene, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was on this ocean planet with a lot of alien
yeah,
descendants.
I'd got a small, an intimate gathering of a few hundred aliens, some humans.
And Anya was trying to decide what to attack you with and how
Yeah.
to manifest.
So, like,
That's right.
why don't
we were
we?
struggling because we were tired and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
review it.
And so I think I kind of was trying to force it, and I would have been easier if I had just let you describe the scene and play it for a while instead of like deciding in the first 2 seconds what was going to happen.
So let's take a look. Let's go ahead and do some affirmation. If we're talking about the immediate situation, we've got. I remember, Alex, you described a couple of things, and wasn't it sort of like the sort of idealized, backdrop is a waterfall kind of?
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what I described now, but it was an island, a huge sea planet.
Right.
It was
right.
3 suns in the sky of maybe different colors.
Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, it's perfectly timed for each sun to, glow one after the other in the sort of the display that only comes every 100 years. And so it's the perfect moment. And I'm going to say that Diamonds is this is more than just a wedding. This is actually more like a huge confirmatory ritual of this massive presence that she's developed.
The official apotheosis.
Coming.
Diamond.
Well, we don't want to. We got to watch our messaging here. She doesn't need a man to become a goddess.
Yeah.
I don't want to. No implication thereof. I do not want to go there. What I am saying is that it is a confirmation of the regard of the humanity of the goddess, and that this sort of thing is important. That you can become more of a goddess if you get your humanity shit together.
Okay.
That's sort of what I have in mind. So yes, there's quite a bit of there's quite a bit of metaphysical oomph to this moment. Is what I'm thinking.
So
Morgan,
you're trying to decide.
Terrible idea.
No, I'm just trying to remember from last time. The trick was trying to figure out whether to grab something problematic on Alex's.
Angel got himself together. He's looking across everything. I think.
But I do want to know, like exactly what we are seeing now, like specifically in what part of the wedding or whatever this is process is. Are we like, is this before the wedding? Are we seeing the rings things, but they're like planet rings or whatever? Where are we right now? What are you doing?
Yes. Do you have the ring? Why, yes, it's those. So, Alex, go ahead and answer that question. Give us your view.
I think we're just about to perform the me putting the ring on her or exchanging rings ceremony. I've got a ring from Earth that's just a kind of crappy silver ring that's got slightly, actually no.
Hadn't you mentioned something about that? Didn't you go and get a funky ring?
I did, but I threw it away. I created a starfire into a ring. That's having problems kind of creating one that I thought was appropriate. No, I've got, it's actually kind of crappy. It's not had a lot of thought into it because I've just gone, let's just do it. Right? I've put this off long enough.
I think Diamonds totally gets that. She's that kind of girl.
So, a gold ring, maybe a single diamond in it. And I'm kind of, what have we got? I think maybe in terms of ritualistic stuff, I think, we're spiritual, but not religious. We're probably
the hippie wedding thing going on here seems to be just right.
We've got ring vows. Sound kind of like going, Diamonds. Yeah, I just want to be with you, babe. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, Angel, you're up. Here it comes.
I think, so do we see you finish the ceremony, or are we just before?
They're right in the middle, ringing.
So as you are putting the rings and finishing this ritual, I think a sort of lightning cuts the sky as we see materialize in the sky above the planet a bunch of spaceships, war pointy looking spaceships,
Imperial cruisers,
basically, but but all black and onyx-like spaceships, and we see in one of them basically we see your biggest fan. We see some kind of emperor, a space emperor of some planet. I ain't really bad with names, but basically your biggest fan, the one who hired you to do that that concert the last time.
Mega concert.
Yeah. And he's here to stop the wedding because he doesn't think he thinks that you should not marry, that you belong to the people, and that you are selling out, and that you belong to him. You are an artist. He pays for you. You belong to him. And how dare you go and marry someone else? Oh shit! Forget about your biggest fan. He's your producer. This is bad for PR. You have to be available. You have to seem available for the fans. So he's here to stop the wedding.
Diamonds was so last album.
Yes. It's time to move on. So I'm using your what's the name? Distance over time. Your progressive rock band. He's your producer here to stop the wedding for the good of your career. So the way he's going to do that is he's going to blow the whole planet up. It's
a solution.
It's a solution. It's not, it's not quite the classical I object, but it's somewhere there.
All right.
So yeah, you hear through the orbital speakers, you hear his voice saying, Zebediah, stop this! This is going to ruin your career.
Maybe he just nukes the priest in the middle of saying the vows or something.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, yeah.
So how are you going to? What ability shall you use to defend?
And I guess I haven't said which one I'm targeting, right?
Yeah. What is it? Oh, what you're targeting, right?
Yeah. So I'm using distance over time, and I guess I'm targeting either diamonds, which is probably a bad idea. I'm targeting Zebediah Infinity Herald the New Proc, because he's trying to destroy your Zebediah persona and put the band above it. Like, you are just a tool for the band to succeed.
Distance over time with Zebediah Infinity instead of Zebediah Infinity's distance over time.
Yeah, exactly. And produced by we should give him or her a name.
Look, is this Rod Stewart and the Faces, or is the Faces featuring Rod Stewart, or is Rod Stewart the singer for the Faces?
Yeah. We have to figure out. Let's call him Dillinger or Dillinger.
Emperor Calderak. Dillinger.
Produced. So yeah, I mean, not.
Okay, I'm gonna. So as he begins firing, I get a chance to talk back, presumably, because I think I want to use
Sure. He's screaming like, "We had a contract!"
I want to use Zebediah Infinity to defend.
Sure.
Should I narrate what I'm doing first, or we roll and then?
Absolutely.
I say, do you know what? It's time to stop with the big companies. I'm going indie.
A bold move.
That was a courageous decision.
The first
in the Frank Zappa song,
indie supergroup.
That's right. In the Frank Zappa song, "Titties and Beer," where the main character is confronted by the devil. And the main character is Frank Zappa, the musician, perhaps, and he mocks the devil and says, you threaten me with hell. I have been in hell. I have seen hell. I was signed up with Warner Brothers for 8 fucking years. All right. I really should have called my gaming company Titties and
Beer. Okay, so just so I know,
that was a good choice not to. I'm just gonna give you that business advice.
Okay, so should we roll?
Yep. I fail bounce success on a 15.
I have an 11.
Hold up, guys, just a moment.
Huh?
We've got to do this sooner or later.
Ooh.
And it's not exactly narratively justified at the moment, but enough is enough. I didn't codify all this shit for nothing.
Extended conflict?
The way an extended conflict works is that it goes in rounds. And we're going to accumulate round after round resolution points. The minute you get 5 resolution points, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So, the number of resolution points is right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually in 2 places because you use it in group contests too, just for different reasons. So in the case of extended conflicts, 2 opponents. So resolve it, and then the loser will gain. The loser, let's say you get a failure and the other person gets a critical,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to get 3 resolution points.
Mm-hmm.
You can be knocked out with 5 out of the gate if you get a fumble and they get a critical.
Mm.
But otherwise, you'll have to go to the next round. And so, when one opponent gains 5 points, they have lost, and then the resolution is determined in terms of marginal, minor, major, and complete, in terms of the difference in resolution points at that time. So even if you lose, it's important to gain as many resolution points against them as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the difference is minimized. So what do we get?
Success. I got a failure on the dice, but since
Right.
he's I have a master,
Right.
he has a master, it goes to a success.
Right. Exactly. And that's automatic. So it is a success. You don't call
Yep.
that a bump. It just is. So Alex.
I also got success.
Success on success. And since Alex is oh my god. Wife message. I just pulled this huge splinter out of Eric's foot.
Oof.
Sorry.
That'll drag your attention.
That's different from I can't get this huge splinter out of Eric's foot. Can you come up and help, please?
Yeah.
This is what you call a major victory on my roll.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do anything about it.
In Apocalypse World Lingual, this would be a soft move and the other a hard move when you
That's
have to
right.
react.
Right. Okay, so excellent. So we have this situation. Now, does anyone want to spend hero points? Because right now, that means that where were we? Difference resolution, critical success, success, non-success. That means that that Alex will be getting 1 resolution point
Mm-hmm.
from that round.
Okay.
So unless you want to spend hero points to change that, and the chart is there, extended contest, difficulty or 2 opponent if you want to find it. Same document we used last time. Then if you want to change it, then you can take it to, basically the more you push it with hero points, it's kind of incremental. 1, 1, 1. And I don't know. Oh, by the way, everybody starts with 3 hero points, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I was thinking about in thinking about gameplay here, it seems like it might be good to have the spending of hero points kind of go back and forth with fictional statements.
No, they will.
Yeah.
Well, not only hero points, but also the roles themselves in an extended contest.
Yeah, now the roles themselves, it makes sense. That what I've noticed is that we've kind of done okay, how many hero points are you going to spend? How many?
Yeah.
Maybe there should be something both mechanical and fictionally connected for how we spend the points at this point.
That's a very good question. The one of the nice things about extended contests in Hero Wars is that you always can say whatever we are mechanically at the moment is how it looks in the fiction.
Right.
And then if we leave it at that, then that how it looks is how it is. If we don't leave it at that, then we move along in game time. And that's okay. That's a good thing. So yes, I agree with you. Let's not forget that. So at the moment, it looks as though the Armada has disrupted things. Are we going to stick with that hero point spending, or are we going to go to the next role?
I wasn't, but since it's the Fierce, like this is their big entrance, interrupting the wedding, like nuking the priest, it makes sense that they make a little bit of a ruckus. So I'll
think
spend
nuking
one.
The priest gets to be the narration for.
Now, let's see.
Priests don't fare well in our games, Ron. I don't know.
So guests are below in their seats and they're waiting quietly.
You know, nuking the priest as the name of the next album.
That's for free, says the producer. That one is for free.
Oh yeah, he's like presses the button and he goes, "Ooh, nuking the priest, next album."
Yes. Someone make a photo. We have a cover.
Oh jeez. All right. So what are you going to do? You're going to bump it so that you get a critical.
Yeah, basically
against his success, and so that'll give him 2 resolution points instead of 1.
Yeah, that should be enough for now.
What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, next round.
So how does it work? Do we change abilities midway, or is it always the same?
That is a really good question, and as I recall, that was I think that's a really good question. I think obviously the targeted ability has to stay the same.
The one you used to defend makes sense. It will change. The one that attacks, I don't know.
Just so that I don't have to go running off and looking. Well, wait a minute. I do have a printout of the relevant rules here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in your summary. Your most recent summary document.
It's not. The really nasty thing is that if you win, you're also allowed a parting shot roll that you can like drive the resolution points like worse. It's really interesting because if you can't change up, then what's the fun of like shifting from your arrows to your axe? So you'd think so.
You could always say if it makes sense fictionally, you could use a different ability.
Yeah, but that unfortunately can be easily reversed. I want to use a different ability, so I make up some shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing, but it's a slippery slope sometimes. And
So is that more of a temptation for the who's losing or who's winning?
It does feel like there should be some momentum of decisions of changing things and what do I use now and things changing, because otherwise we're just rolling the same dice 3 times or 2 or 3 times. And
well, it might not be so bad if you just vary the descriptions.
Yeah, but
well, in this particular case, what we've got is actually a category. I mean, it's the person category against the person category.
Yeah.
So really anything in the person category seems like it would make sense in this particular case because we are targeting the big one, but that wouldn't be a universal cure anyway. Well, I mean, I guess you could say you could always stay within category. No, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Would you be able to bring in other abilities as augments?
Yeah, we haven't been doing.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that. To augment is an interesting phenomenon. The important thing about them is that you can't. They're not automatic. You actually have to
roll for it.
Well, yeah. Well, you do. Augments are a roll, first of all, and I'm not finding that right out of the gate, unfortunately. Let's take a look at. Okay, I really don't see it. Whether you can shift up abilities in the middle, but I really have a hard time understanding why you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly for the defender.
Yeah.
So let's run with that for now, in full awareness that it was a judgment call in the moment, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, also you were attacking with a what? With
his band,
right, which is part of his person, right?
Yes. So no hero points.
Right, no hero points this way or that way. Okay. So Alex, what are you guys going to do now? In this case, it's kind of hard to say like that's the other thing. Who's the attacker? Who's the defender? At this point, we just say this person wins or that person wins. There's no attacker or defender. We just
Sure.
The shaded one is one person, the non-shaded one is the other, and that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we using? We're coming in with the.
So what were the kind of the consequences? Did we blow up the planet just a little?
Well, no, you basically have disrupted the wedding and nuked the priest and made your point. And so then, and it's 2 resolution points against Zebediah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys using on each other? And you can really think of yourselves as both attacking, I think, quite fairly.
Well, I'll use my destructor beams. I whip on the head of Eternus and begin firing destructor beams at the ships. Just blow them out of the sky.
And so I think, Ahel, you're stuck with whatever you were using.
Sure.
Right.
Cool. So I don't have to think about it.
Super on personal. Hero point to Zebediah.
Yeah. So how are you using the laser beams?
Well, I put Eternus' head on. My old head disappears in blue sparkles, as it always does. I look up in the sky and begin firing red beams directly into the ships. I should probably share something inspiring, but it's eluding me at the moment.
Okay, yeah. So I'm maybe on this guy. What was his name? Producer. Dillinger. Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe now you are on the offensive. So he's raising like huge magnetic shields to protect the ships. And he's like screaming to his people, "Press for attack! We are dealing with an angry artist."
It's like creativity.
Tantrum alert.
He's very temperamental right now.
Creativity can't be bound by contracts.
Okay.
All right, guys, roll them up.
Same as before, I think. I'm gonna check.
Success. I got a failure. A 20 critical failure.
Ooh.
Critical. Okay, success on a critical. In this case, if we leave it at that, that's 3, and that'll kill. That'll take you out.
Yep.
Interesting. What that'll do? Destroy one of my abilities?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is one of the big ones. Oof. By the way, one thing I realized is that the effect of me not being able to move around what I'm using to attack means that I cannot maneuver around to gain hero points, but he can.
Right,
he can
exactly.
change.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if that's good or not. We'll find out.
Yeah.
No, I'll let that. We'll see where this goes. So I get a defeat with 5 points against me.
Wow.
Which will destroy distance over time.
If that's what you want, I wasn't even going to spend hero points right now, but sure.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the producer.
Let's take a look at what the rules say, though. So that was the differences in 5 points. Yeah, with 5 against 0, if the difference in resolution points is 5 or greater, then the winning group's victory level is complete.
Shit! Oh my God, the man won.
Right. So, for example, I mean,
Disney took over. God.
So don't think that just because he won, it would have been a complete victory. It's only because the difference between the resolution points is 5. So cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Narrationally too, wedding's off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Zebediah's dead.
Well, it's kind of a good question. So we're actually crossing off Zebediah Infinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Zebediah Infinity itself get crossed off. Oh yes, because that was what's being attacked, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are you sure that you want to go with this?
Because I'm not sure what to do with the keywords versus the other abilities. This seems like it would matter a lot.
Mm-hmm. But also they don't have any special protection or anything like that. So they are like easy targets in that way if they really killed you.
Let's see. So that would take out Zebediah and all the associated sub-keywords,
Well,
right?
that's the question. I don't really know what happens to the sub-abilities. I mean, it seems to me like a little too much that they would all disappear.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they necessarily...
But before we get there...
Yeah. I mean, I'm struck by this idea that the producer wants to save the band and he kills the singer.
I mean, I would think he kills.
Other than that, I think it's up to the GM, right?
I would imagine he doesn't. There's killing the character and there's destroying the keyword. He didn't say he wanted to kill the character, so that wasn't part of the goal. He is destroying the keyword.
Yeah.
Which is very different, and so his goal, which he gets a complete victory in, is negating the wedding.
Yeah.
That he did. What matters is what matters is now the mechanical outcome.
Yeah,
the
he
consequences.
did it by targeting Zebediah Infinity. What does that mean? And I guess that's up to the GM.
My intent was taking over creative control,
Hold on just a
basically,
second.
over the band.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, these wood things.
I was going to ask you about that. Are those the things you were talking about? The big flat things? Yeah, those are just floor covers. Go ahead and use them.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be big.
What happened to Morgan?
I assume it's his flaky internet dropped, and hopefully he will be back shortly.
Well, let's see. He came back by himself last time, right? I didn't have to reinvite him. Okay.
No, let's make sure he's still.
There we go.
Yeah. Looks like he's back. Yes, he is back.
Okay.
Excellent. Transmission reestablished. All right. Well, let's run it down by the numbers. First of all, the wedding's off. That's been shattered. And then second, the consequences to Zebediah Infinity are quite interesting. I confess I'm not quite ready to know. I think we're losing that ability. Mm-hmm. And here's one way to do it. All the abilities inside it that are less than that are eliminated. But all the abilities that are greater than that remain. And it could be, oh wow, I had a terrible idea. This is pure improvisation. The highest ability becomes the new keyword.
I was thinking just that, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The highest ability becomes the new keyword. And it's going to be diamonds.
Yeah.
And that means that now Zebediah is gone and you're playing diamonds.
That would be really something. Something serious. I mean, it works in this case. I mean, if your ability...
In this case, it works, but it might be just fortuitous. I don't know if that's a viable mechanic throughout, but it's so tempting.
Yes.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Well,
she absorbs the residual cosmic.
Could even be.
She absorbs the essence of Zebediah so that he never dies.
Oh my God! This whole campaign has been Diamond's origin story. Like we now see the shot of the. Oh God!
I know the artist like destroys his personal life in drawing this issue now. For the rest of this issue, the artist's personal life, his financial situation, everything is just destroyed because he throws everything into this comic.
Okay. That certainly works.
I don't know if that's going to remain. We're going to run thought experiments about it later.
Yes.
Well, there's some options too. I mean, it could be the new person is boyfriend of Diamonds,
and that's all there is to it. Well, I was thinking about that. My original thought was rewrite the keyword in some diminished form.
Yeah.
Right. And just start it at 13 and have that be that. But this just seems so elegant. Just grab whatever the highest ability is, even if it makes no sense. Pop it in there. Make it make sense.
Yeah. And if you have to rename it, like
the other thing is
that
we've talked about this before, but if Zebediah is dead, then Eternus still remains as a keyword.
Right, exactly. No, the head of Eternus is totally with us. The superpower is not gone. The head of Eternus now orbits diamonds.
That image of like it is too good not to.
And the other keywords that were also higher than Zebediah that are in there, those remain.
Yep. Okay, cool.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Which means distance over time remained unscathed.
As it should.
That's what the producer wanted. As a matter of
In
fact, doesn't it go up by like 12 points?
Yeah.
Distance over time goes up by 12 points.
May distance over time take over the cutter?
Or is it
I don't think
9? Sorry, 9. There's 3,
9.
6, 9.
So not enough
for the victories. Yeah.
Yeah, diamond is really high.
14
Oh,
W.
yeah. Miraculously, the band stops arguing.
That's right. Well, the essence of, the father of the new Prague has done his duty. The new Prague is here.
He was the herald.
Yes.
And everyone
Whatever
knows.
happens to Sid Barrett.
Once the herald has delivered his message, his time is over.
Shine on, you crazy diamond.
Do we want to talk about your parting shot mechanics?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not my mechanics. That's theirs.
Well,
but we'll say what they are. In the round immediately after you take an opponent out of the contest, you may attempt to increase the severity of the consequences they suffer by engaging in a parting shot. If you succeed in your parting shot skill roll, you add the result from your roll to the final number of resolution points. However, he was already maxed out. 5 or higher was the maximal consequence.
Gotcha.
So there's no point in a parting shot. In fact, the only problem is if he fails it and he takes resolution points, that can reverse.
You could actually,
this.
yeah.
If you are over ambitious in your parting shots, you can actually resurrect your opponent as he's still in the fight.
Yeah.
So cool. Well. Especially considering that Alex had an insane number of hero points to play with. He had 4 hero points to play with and chose not to.
Yeah.
So we're good with that. Interesting. Cool. Wow. And that's so climactic. Oh my God. That is so.
Well, wait. So if it's climactic, then we've got a different chart, right?
Well, we have to look at the consequences. I haven't looked at those yet.
Yeah. Because that is something that you could potentially want to boost the number for that, because that does have numbers higher than 5.
Oh, really? Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let's see. So for
Wait, what was the name of the his earlier producer that went off to
Trevor
in Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah, that one has been integrated into the bigger company by
Dillinger.
Force
Okay.
Beans. Yeah.
So is Trevor his right hand man at the helm or something?
Trevor is now.
He pressed the new button.
He's now managing like someone in some backwater planet. He has been demoted. I'm afraid.
Here we are. All right. So if it was rising action, then the difference between results at 5, the negative consequences is injured. If it is, oh wow. Wow, this is actually sort of, no, hold on a second. That's for groups, Gordon.
Oh, okay.
That's for groups. No, this is, in group contests, people rack up more resolution points against themselves, quite a bit. In the 2 opponent extended contest, the chart I used is correct for the outcome. So rising action versus climactic consequences, those are for group situations. At least
I see.
In Hero Wars or Hero Quest. So we'll just stick with that for now.
Difficulty
Wow.
of 2 opponents.
Okay,
I got
so
you.
Alex, I believe that you are our new writer. And you are going to go and find a hapless artist who is happily drawing his favorite thing about his favorite
But
character.
I want to see the last image of.
Oh, you want to see the last image?
Oh yeah, we need the double page spread with the death of Zebediah.
Well, okay, I'm the narrator, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me as though it's a matter of the music taking over. And Zebediah actually disintegrates into the amazing. I mean, the band, like wherever they are, they're probably all there.
Mhm.
But the point is that they all like psychically connect, and an amazing song is created that they actually just is sort of beamed out across the cosmos. And Zebediah's musicianship is completely subsumed in it. And it is, of course, now Diamond's anthem. So that, she, basically, says, the you know marriage wasn't enough for Zebediah. It is that this is about more, and so the band itself becomes a feature of worshiping her.
This is his last great song, and it needed a female vocalist. Needed to have a female vocalist. That's all there was to it.
Yeah. And the producer is like, "Well, boss, that's how to do it."
That's right. That's
right. I handled the shit.
Well, he's now the high priest, right?
Yeah.
Shoot, spend a hero point if you want, Alex, and make him an ability. Perhaps even a cosmic one. Who knows?
That's true. You kept your hero points, so you can do some ability jiggering here.
Yeah.
I think.
All right. So who's our new? Is it Alex? Are you? Oh, sorry, Morgan. Are you next?
I'm not sure. What we had going on during the last session was that myself and Ken were investigating the death of a teenager who died from a drug overdose.
Yeah. So, and I think that you came after Earth's First Mind. We started with Earth's First Mind. So I think that Gordon is up and Alex is going after Gordon.
Yeah.
They were both walking to see somebody.
Yeah. So
we're both going to see.
I remember the order the other way, but where we were was that I was going to take him to meet the leader of
Open Ocean Action.
Open Ocean Action, Cynthia White.
Yeah.
So maybe Gordon's right and the order is wrong, that we started with Morgan instead of Gordon. Is that right? Do you think?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, so in that case, Morgan is next.
There was one other detail that it might help to sort out first. Because the teen died in a drug overdose, but it was forced because he was trying to get involved in some kind of social political conflict.
Mm-hmm.
That we never really worked out the detail for. I mean, because this is a post-scarcity energy future.
Right, yeah. But that still doesn't mean one of the things that I always laugh at with these, post-scarcity dramas is that everybody says that, well, that'll solve everything. And you're kind of like, right. Yeah, no. You've still got all of the kinship hassles. You've still got all of the local property-esque hassles. I mean, there's a reason why the libertarians love these dramas, because then they get to fight over property. And so you have any number of potential policy problems. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is very fundamental. This has a lot to do with sexual and relationship morality. This has to do with, it's real straightforward. I mean, is or isn't reproductive activity under community control? Sure, you can go ahead and have sex with whoever you want. The question is, reproduction, is that or is that not supposed to just be the flotsam and jetsam of who happens to want to have sex? That seems like a really stupid way to run things. Reproduction being the result of just who happens to want to have sex whenever. I mean, who would want to, I mean, we have the chance to order society now. We no longer under the yoke of scarcity. Why don't we look at one of the most fundamental problems that's ever faced our species and actually address it? And, this guy had the temerity to say, no, I actually want to have, children with this person just because we want to. What do you mean just because you want to? What the fuck kind of policy is that?
Okay.
I mean, isn't that just the same as the irresponsible? I want to pollute the oceans. I want to waste resources just because I want to. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit they could pull off.
Because if energy is infinite free, then one of the finite commodities left would be living space.
Genes.
Or just concerned for
genes and ownership thereof. When the woman says to her daughter, I've done everything for you, how can you go out with Thor the motorcyclist for who knows what? I mean, she's who owns the daughter's ovaries? The daughter or the mom? The mom is explicitly saying, I do. Those are mine. I worked for those to be working.
Okay.
I mean,
that's interesting. Okay, so if myself and Earth's First Mind are then going to meet this Cynthia White, I don't know, Gordon, do you have any ideas for what our working environment would be?
Well, I can make some stuff up given that.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like I'm the actor for any of those things right now.
But he's consulting you.
Yeah. So the thing that occurs to me, of course, is that Cynthia, her secret dream for forever has been to get Earth's population under control, because that would save the oceans. And so her group,
and the lack of energy scarcity doesn't mean that people still aren't going to fuck up the environment. In fact, a lot of people, given the lack of scarcity, are just going to go great guns to do that even worse.
Yeah. So this whole thing about, keeping the population under control, she's been, anything from, using her whatever advocacy power she currently has to, their access to derived biosubstances that are needed for the control, the system of control.
Gordon, are you putting politics and social commentary into this comic book?
How do you dare? How do you dare?
No, I'm putting drugs into this comic book.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
It's a drug that happens to give the government control over your reproduction, but it's drugs.
When has ever been drugs used for political gain?
We have no idea what you're talking about.
So yeah, there's a connection between her agenda and maybe even, they are actively working to help these necessary biosubstances reach the government to allow this reproductive control to continue, because otherwise,
God, she's like Margaret Sanger all over again. All right. Well, so here we are, dealing with this woman.
All right. So myself and it's not Stephen Baxter, is it? Did we ever get your human name, Gordon? What?
Yeah. So
it's either Earth's First Mind, the Silurian, or Thing Out of Time.
Yeah. Since Personal is at his bottom, I didn't really come up with.
No, he's so anonymous. No one ever bothers to ask. That was my impression.
Yeah, it seemed like
it's like when the Silver Surfer puts on his trench coat, everybody just thinks he's a guy.
Oh, okay.
And no one ever.
He's a guy.
He's just that guy.
All right. So we're myself and Earth's First Mind. We're just walking along the waterfront, where we see this gleaming white building. Not quite a skyscraper, but it's 5 or 6 stories tall, and it has these gleaming metal windows that give it the look of a scientific research institute. And there are these protesters out front with their placards and they're waving, they're chanting, and one says, "Save our seas," and the other says, "I have control over my womb." And we proceed up the middle of these two groups and are apparently completely unnoticed by either because the man behind me is so unnoticeable. And so we come up to the front entrance and security completely ignores us. And we move past the metal detectors and these it is metal detectors that they just wave at you when you're going past security. And we're moving through the building, and First Mind gives me directions to the CEO's office, and as soon as we move in the door, she's astonished to find that we managed to get in there. And I ask her what she knows about drug overdoses in the Southern Quarter.
So what ability you're going to use?
Let's go with, let's try police investigations.
Sounds good. Alex, you're up.
Morgan, you have on your sheet Child of Quinn Lao.
I do.
Him again.
Wants to force human evolution. Is that him that wants to force it, or you that wants to force it?
It's Chinlau that wants to force it.
Yeah. I think, so you arrive at Cynthia, she turns kind of there to question her, and we see the black. I mean, we don't even really see it because it's so, I guess, vast, the vast blackness of the shape moving through the cosmos. We just kind of get an inclination of it kind of behind her. And she's probably going to villain monologue, which is the job of the GM, but it's Quinn Lao that's attacking.
I have never seen a role-playing game in which the gestures of the player are so consistent from person to person and their excitement. It's always the attacking player in exactly this moment.
Yeah.
Each person has just happily started, orchestrating as they talk, and it's really fun. I hope I didn't jinx it by saying this. But I've already mentioned the expression of delight that appears on their face when they suddenly realize what they're going to do. Yeah. And then they start gesticulating. And I'm sorry, Alex, it was just too adorable. I couldn't
and it's worse when you record it because in all my videos, when you upload it to YouTube, you get the screenshots randomly selected, and I have the same. And I'm doing the same expression all the time. It's like always something like my hands are up, and I do like, it annoys me a lot.
It's the curse of sharing.
Yes.
We're all sharing.
Oh, Morgan, one other thing. You're the literal child of Quinn Lao, aren't you?
Well, the way I imagine it is that Calvin did have a human mother and a human father, but he interfered in the conception process.
Oh, okay, cool. Right. So he's attacking Calvin. You're grown up now, and it's time to just get rid of the human.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so we have that theme going on this episode. Cool.
All right, so you're attacking my Calvin Wu personality using Child of Qin Lao, and I nominate an ability to defend with?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Psychologist, since I think that's my strongest ability, and it's personal, so it should get an advantage against Cosmic.
Yeah, you get a hero point.
Okay, then.
Yeah, that's true.
And it had a substantial bonus from various early conflicts. So yeah, it's up at 3W at the moment.
How did that happen? Holy crap.
I kept using it and I kept winning.
Nice. That went completely like... I didn't notice that at all. That's really good. Holy shit.
So, do we describe what's going on a little further, or do we roll now?
I'd love to hear how your psychology is defending you, but
okay then.
Well, I can chip in if you want, because the attack's presumably just going to rip everything human away from you. Just take it out.
Okay, so if you want to describe what's going on first, yeah. Well, you want to give a little bit of the villain monologue, say.
Oh, that's Ron's job, though, isn't it, Ron? Oh, you went to monologue on behalf of Cynthia. And you're muted as well.
Yeah, I know I'm muted. There's a reason. You guys keep going. You're doing fine.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
But the other thing that's interesting about this right now is that my character
no, he's
is
saying-
there.
Cecilia, he's
So if there was anything on my character sheet you wanted to use attack or defense, it sounds like it would be perfectly appropriate to do so now. But I'm assuming I'm not going to step in here unless.
we've said that that's not legit, but I will, since Ron can't do it, I will briefly take control of Cynthia White, who's on your sheet. And I think all she'll say is, I've been expecting you. And that's, of course, because Quinn Lau has also got the Temple Chessmaster thing from back in the time.
Okay. So you're using Child of Chin Lao, not Temporal Chessmaster.
No, I'm using Child of Chin Lau, yep.
Also,
Okay.
let's not forget that since multiple characters are present, including Gordon, there's no reason why Gordon can't throw into it with some ability and turn it into a group contest.
Ooh.
That's perfectly okay. So it's not like you have to just stand there and your sheet's up out of it. Gordon is perfectly capable of throwing into the situation on one side or the other.
Right.
Yeah, and it actually, since it's something that we haven't done, I like the idea.
That actually
I just
is
wasn't
what
sure if it was
happened
legitimate.
when we all converged in a couple of earlier situations. We did that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right then.
Yes.
So Chin Lao, speaking through Cynthia, is just saying, "I've been expecting you." I suppose Calvin would just say, "Hello, Father." I wish I could say I've been looking forward to this moment.
Mhm.
Why did you choose this vessel?
Do you want me to carry on, or you can take
I
over?
think actually this is where I take over. As
Okay,
the
then.
GM. And Chin Lao says many. I speak through many, but they are already speaking. They are already saying what needs to be said. I don't have to force anybody to say anything. They already speak they already express who I am. They already want what is right. And they open the way for me. She is one of those. You can be too. You should be. You and your brother should be. But you continue to defy me.
Am I the product of your long experiments, then, Father? Am I what you have been seeking all this time?
Should you
I asked-
accept it?
I ask this because the woman that you speak through, if she had had her way, would never have allowed me to be born. Father was not exactly sterling genetic material by most standards.
He will respond with a dizzying montage of all of the ways that what was contingent was he improvised. And what was contingent was actually his secret will. And when it wasn't, he could work with that. So it would be nice if he didn't have to improvise, and with you on his side moving forward, then there would be less of that sort of nonsense going on. I mean, why should evolution limp along on the basis of natural selection? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's a quote, unfortunately. I wish I'd made that up, but I didn't. Dave Sim did.
No.
But yeah, he's basically saying, if you do the railroad for me, I don't need to do it to you. Railroad yourself. That way I don't have to intervene.
Father, I share your fear of chaos. I do share your love of perfection and order. But look at the chaos and enmity that this divide has brought to our society. Humanity is riven over this topic. outside in the streets. They were marching with placards, practically ready to tear each other's throats out.
But it's an honest debate or an honest dispute at this time. We've cleared the board. Your work has cleared the board of the distractions of energy and scarcity. We move closer toward the true decisions. And the one true decision stands here. And that is to eliminate and this point the contempt and horror and fear he cannot disguise of genetic drift.
It strikes me as remarkable, Father, that you could foresee so much, and yet you did not foresee my defiance.
Growing pains.
All of us never stop growing, I think. All right. I think that's enough.
Enough ideology in one space. Yeah. The letterer ran out of room.
That's a two-page spread right there, I think.
Right. What do we say? What, Alex? What are we attacking with Child of Quinn Lao?
Yep, we're attacking Kelvin.
Right, but what are you going to defend with? Psychology.
Psychologist, yes.
Right, because all of your defenses were questioning his motives. Don't you want to reflect on that a little bit? What does that mean to you? Right, and so let's do it. But we also have Earth's First Mind involved.
Yes.
So are you using an ability in this, like Cynthia, for example?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, Cynthia is the tie that brings me
right, but you don't have to actually
all this
use,
stuff is,
but you're present. You don't actually have to use Cynthia to act. You can use other abilities if you want to. So what will you use and against whom?
All this stuff between the Child of Kin Lao doesn't really inspire him to act. What's inspiring him to act is what's going on with Cynthia. And basically, he's kind of appalled that she's involved in it. And so if there's an ability of his that comes into play, it's probably his fury at the futility. Here's this, hero.
It's been a bad damn day for Earth's First Mind, I have to admit, from the start.
Here he is, this hero who's going to, do positive things for humanity, and she can't even see that what she's doing is wrong. And so that's his ability. Now, given what the attack that's going on, I'm not sure it kicks in that strongly right now until Cynthia gets pulled in, if she gets pulled in. But that's what's going on for him right now.
Who's the target, Alex? The target is Cynthia, isn't it? Did I mistake that?
The target is Calvin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure. That may be maybe to follow up after
everybody's personal keyword this time around.
Kind of a climactic thing to do, probably.
Yeah, and I've noticed those kind of patterns of you do that, so I'll do the same, or you do that, so I'll do the opposite.
Which is okay.
To come up in this game,
which is kind of nice. Yeah,
provides
some structure. Yeah, cool.
So I don't know. My thinking right now is that Earth's First Mind's interests, I can definitely see where they kick in here, but they're not really involved in this current conflict.
Okay, you don't have to participate if you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think it makes complete sense right now.
There's always servant
back up Calvin a little bit if you wanted to.
There's always servant of sentience, survivor of extinction, empathetic to individuals but annoyed about larger groups.
That's true.
Even just assisting him, even just in doing an assist is perfectly okay.
And you're quite welcome to, pester Chin Lao for a bit, just ask some questions and see what his involvement is.
Yeah, wait a second. So is Earth's First Mind really okay with just letting Chin Lao eat Kelvin? I mean, metaphorically eat him. Is that a thing?
Yeah. So, in those pages, as we walked from the waterfront to this meeting, we had some friendly banter. He seems like a nice guy. I don't really want to see him just, knocked out of existence. And this Kinlao guy, he does not understand the nature of existence.
Well, you encountered him before. You were in the middle of that whole big dust up
Yeah.
previously, right?
Yeah. And he just does, he has not seen species after species rise and fall as I have. I may not remember them all, but I've seen it happen. And his understanding is so limited. He should not be in charge of evolution. That's certainly true. So my servant of sentience will attempt to explain to Kinlao just how mistaken his hubris is, and take the word of a true cosmic power. What you are up to will not end well.
What ability is that?
My servant of sentience.
So the first thing we do is discover how helpful you are. While you were monologuing, I was looking shit up. And so, therefore, I'm going to roll, and I'm going to be using the generic ability of the GM for this purpose, and you're going to be rolling your Servant of Sentience. So, are you ready?
Okay, I am ready. I have
Wow. I failed.
I have a success.
Success on a failure is a minor victory. If you get a minor victory, then you are going to alters the score against your teammates. You're actually reducing the Child of Qinlao, in this case by 2. If you use hero points, it's basically a 1 bump. So you can get -3 all the way to -4 if you wanted to.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and notice that Kinlao seems to have not anticipated my arguments and press home even more strongly.
That the Silurian as a physical and visual presence is actually like painted at the same size and scope as Qinlao, and so the two of you are like confronting at the same scale of inhuman intensity. We have the patron of humanity, the ancient self-appointed patron of humanity. Okay, you've inherited the earth, I get it. We're gone, I get it, but I'm still here to guide and appreciate you. Little shits as you may happen to be.
Yes.
And then this other entity who's like, I know where these people need to go, and I will direct that. I will manage it. So you have these two self-appointed masters of humanity.
Yeah, I tried that a few eons. It didn't work out well.
I like Calvin Wu going.
Yeah, and in the process of doing that,
just in the middle of those.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Towering figures.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. And so there's basically that presence of Earth's first mind has projected itself at the scale of Kinlao. His other body is still there, and now without that presence on it, you kind of notice that it's actually maybe even a little decaying.
Ooh.
It's kind of falling apart a little bit. Okay. My manifested body is actually still a little killed from a while back. I got a little killed at one point, and so that body is actually not holding together so well. The little note in the frame of the comic book says, remember back
what I said about this being the last session? Forget it. This is way too much fun.
Remember back issue 121. So that is a expenditure of
Yes.
hero points. So
Gorgeous Gordon, Ed, right in the little box there. Okay, so we have. Did you or did you not spend hero points?
I spent 1. Yes.
1. Okay, so that's -3 to Chinlao, Child of Chinlao. Okay. Now
Okay.
we enter into the contest
All right.
for the
So this-
battle. The battle for humanity in the would-be perfect future.
Okay. So is this? I'm guessing this is an extended conflict.
We're just doing extended contest this time around, just because we like them.
Yeah. All right then. Right. I'm ready to roll.
All right then, Alex.
Okay. I'm on the sheet.
I swear to God, that's a 1.
No.
So if we both masteries cancel,
Yes, they do.
Oh yeah,
then I fail.
Okay, let's start all over. If you both have a single mastery, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Eliminate the W's. You've just got your numbers. Now
Okay.
get your rolls.
In that case, I still have a critical.
Right.
And I fail.
Oh, critical on a failure. That's 3 resolution points for Alex, who is not doing well in the extended contest this time around. But Alex, you do have hero points to mess with if you want.
I think that'd be a little mean at this point.
Okay.
Well, I killed your character, so let's
Yeah.
mean at this point.
Let's be clear. Mean is not bad.
Yes.
No, serious case. Also,
Is that
I've
like
got
a
those.
Nietzschean concept?
If you have the will to power, just
I was going to
do it,
say
man.
no. It's definitely Schopenhauer.
Go ahead. Let's continue. So, Alex, what are you going to do?
What's the sorry? What am I attacking with now?
No,
What's the same?
what I'm saying is, are you going to accept the resolution points to keep going?
Yes, I will. Yeah.
I actually am considering spending hero points. So if you want to,
Oh wait,
bid for my bid.
on that particular. So you're going to actually bump him to a fumble? Is that what you're saying? No.
If I
You
can.
got
Yes.
a critical, and you're going to bump him to a fumble if you can. If you do,
Yes.
you'll hit him with 5 points and take him out.
Yes.
Okay. So he's going to do that. Alex, you want to counter with a hero point?
No.
Oh,
Okay then.
wow. Okay, so squelch. Then you're nailed.
Now,
Do you want a? Yes, Gordon.
I was just going to say the interesting thing about this is that that's on yourself. So bumping it to a full victory in one blow means that Child of Chin Lao is going to take a bunch of damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay. All right. Now we're starting to see everybody being knowledgeable about the system, and now they're starting to mess with their own sheets. So, so what we get is a difference in resolution point. So complete victory. The winner is unharmed. And the yeah, and that's that.
The loser is injured?
Well, yes, but that's different. That table really doesn't work for us. We're actually going to our consequences.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
And
Complete
so
unharmed.
our consequences means complete defeat, remove ability from play. So wow, that would be that.
Here we go.
And complete victory +9 to appropriate ability.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
So psychologist just keeps. Boy, Calvin
like
Wu
the freaking
understands the
psychology
human
dude.
mind
What
like
is
you would not believe.
What is your psychology now?
Yeah.
It is now.
12W?
No, wait. It was 3W, so now it's
Now it's
12.
12W. Yeah.
12W.
I think Diamonds is still the one. Diamonds is the only one that's over 2 mastery, correct?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Diamonds is...
No, Protector of Theron for Demetheus is 7W2.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I got there last couple.
Oh
of
yeah,
seconds
yeah.
ago.
Wow.
Diamonds is 8W2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Just
No, that's really interesting though. Those are our two. And you know what? Those are the two most antagonistic abilities in the story right now.
And I don't think that's like a.
That's not a coincidence. Yeah.
That's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there's no fallout for my aid.
You were actually disconnected from the consequence at that time.
Okay, that's yeah.
I'll have to double check on that, but I think the fact is that you weren't engaged in it. You just assisted from a disengaged. That's a status, disengaged, and you were in it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And
so no resolution points were actually scored against you by anybody. So.
Or 4, but yeah. The none against is that works for me.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So all right then, we are. So the fallout from this, let's narrate a little bit. I mean, Chin Lao basically is. I'm going to say that you are. You evict Chin Lao from. Basically, remember how you guys had imprisoned him like back in the beginning or something like that? I think you're gonna. What's that, Morgan?
He was using a neutron star to emerge into real-time space, so we managed to drive him back within and seal the gate behind him, so to speak.
Right. Well, here he got out again through a different means because everybody who says what he espouses anyway provide him with a gate, which is what we were talking about. So therefore, what you've done is, and you were using psychology. You know what? No, I'm going to say you cure him psychologically. Chin Lao is now going to contemplate the flow of existence as existence and is okay with that.
Okay.
You have not actually, and therefore you being his child, thus that being a thing, that's no longer special. Being the child of Chin Lao isn't any different than being the child of anyone else, and so therefore it's not even an ability anymore.
Very nice.
And you know what? He's happy. Chin Lao has achieved tranquility. Nice. You have provided the necessary therapy.
What happens to Cynthia?
Well, Cynthia wasn't targeted, right? As an ability?
No.
No.
That just is going to have to, it depends. Do you want to spend a hero point to make an ability that reflects Cynthia's standpoint on life?
Well, I guess I was thinking is that the way we had posed it was that she was taken over by Chin Lao.
Oh, yeah, well, so
now she's not.
But she was only taken over by Chin Lao because she already espoused views that were consistent with his.
Right.
And that hasn't changed.
So she doesn't get cured along the way.
Unless you want to make an ability. This is what I'm going to say. Okay, so that happens, and then in this whole deal is that the political controversy is resolved. The control over the my womb, my way has won.
Okay.
The chaos of genetic drift and the random, the undirected nature of natural selection will persist. Energy is no longer a constraint. Now, biology finally can chaotically spill where biology goes. You're speaking to an actual evolutionary biologist right now who has always fought against the inaccurately assumed orthogonality of natural selection. That's actually Wallace, not Darwin. Nearly everything anyone learns about selection, if it's not fucking Spencer, is Wallace, not Darwin. And Wallace was all about the harmony and the directionality and the shaping of the natural world through selection into a thing of beauty.
He actually he got very enamored of spiritualism later in life,
Yes,
didn't
he did. And he also was big on how humans are not subject to selection the way that filthy animals. Well, he didn't think animals were filthy. They were beautiful, but they were not imbued with the choices. Wallace was basically the ultimate progressive, the lover of biology insofar as it produced beautiful ecologies, and the notion that humans could, get beyond all that.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
I really, really hated Darwin's work on humans, which was basically saying, well, we're pretty interesting animals, So, anyways, we have this setup of the triumph of contingency. In other words,
Okay.
freeing energy didn't like create the red carpet to perfection. Now we see what humanity will make of itself in all of its messy glory, rather than its march to the angels.
Mm.
And of course, a person who's heavy into human psychology, who, like, as it were, wades in the swamps of human diverse psychological points of view,
Mm.
I get
And it's
that.
really interesting that we in this session we had the same kind of conflict of individual choice and I
Right.
want to be my own
Right.
against external control and order. On one place was like Disney took over Star Wars, and on the other was like, no, Dad, I'm my own self.
That's right.
Damn it. Completely opposite.
It's not true.
That's right. Cool.
I would still like to finish that police investigations role just so I can get the evidence.
You go right ahead. Yeah.
Well, and actually, yeah, and what I was going to check is well, do that first.
Yeah.
Because it won't have any bearing on me.
13. Okay, that's a success. No, wait. If you're rolling against regular difficulty, what's the?
I'm making a roll of my own.
Okay. Okay. So
right.
I did get a success, just a regular.
And I got a success too.
Okay.
And so since you're the attacker, you have a marginal victory if you want, which gains you nothing mechanically, but narratively it gives you your marginal victory.
Okay. I'd actually like to bump that up with another hero point.
Sure. Now explain to me what you're doing in the investigation visually.
Well, let me see. I sit down and I have a chat with Cynthia White, and I track down who she's been meeting with over the past couple of days, and
and see just who knocked off the guy, right? Who got him to overdose, right? No problem.
Okay.
Marginal victory gives you the information, but no special information about no context.
Right.
Which means there may be things about the story that would change the blunt fact. The marginal victory is kind of, in this case, is kind of like what a prosecutor is looking for, just enough to convict somebody, but not enough to confuse anybody.
Okay.
Whereas a more complete victory might give you a little more understanding of the nuances.
Okay. So if you have enough dirt on her to definitely tie her to the overdose of the unfortunate youth from last session.
In other words, you're finding out whether Cynthia's guilty or
not.
Or what she knows.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, she's not going to be directly guilty. She didn't knock off anybody.
Okay.
That's kind of a good question. Is that just a judgment call on my part?
Well, my point is that I want to be able to get enough evidence to satisfy Ken and bring justice to the kid who was overdosed. Probably deserves a name.
Yeah, I suggest that we a marginal victory will only give you knowledge that of the absolute direct responsibility, who actually did it, and that's all you get.
Okay, but I bumped that up to hero point.
You're going to bump it up to hero point to a minor victory, correct? Okay,
yes.
So first of all, you can give it a +3.
Okay.
And then second, narratively, a minor victory means that, you get a reasonably complete picture of the chain of command. And as I see it, anyway, perhaps an overly judgment call on my part, it's not as though there was like Cynthio did not lead a conspiracy to knock him off. But the people in the network of support have been methodically picking off dissenters.
Oh, okay then. All right, very nice.
And so you're able to say, okay, no, you can clean up that bit. You don't get a major victory or a complete victory, so you can't solve the larger problem of all these people pulling all this shit. But this particular instance, you can get justice for.
Okay then. Right.
Cool.
So I guess I just have a sit down with Ken at the end, and I tell him that the killers will be brought to justice.
Right.
And hopefully there will be fewer.
No, you and Ken can follow that through together, I think. This is kind of cool. You and your brother are like,
yeah.
You walking away from all your success actually has been sort of a big deal. He was kind of amazed at that.
And now that Chinlao is happy in his contemplative space state at the heart of existence, he should be free from his influence, and hopefully he won't be hounded.
Right.
The establishment so much.
Awesome. Gordon, did you want Earth First Mind to do something?
Yeah, so I was going to check and see if spending a hero point on an ability could transform it rather than just get a new ability. What I'm thinking about doing is having Cynthia White, instead of running Global Ocean Action, she is going to now, she's going to go back to her real name, which is Wichin Scora, and start a new organization called Foundation for Responsible Parenting.
It's just a new ability.
So just make a new one, and doesn't necessarily have to get rid of what.
Right.
So if I imagine that she is no longer doing that, but is doing this instead,
it doesn't mean her legacy is still there.
Right. So that changes a little bit former, and I just make a new one. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So as a result of all this, she basically says, well, okay, clearly nothing's more important than helping people be responsible about this new freedom they have regarding their reproduction, and so we're going to help them with that.
Right. Besides, the other ability didn't say eugenics mistress. It only said that she's all about the oceans.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like you have to change that. She's still all about the oceans. Okay, cool. Well, guys, this was instructive in a couple of different ways. And it's kind of interesting. You guys, Earth's First Mind and Calvin Wu, have both really concentrated on Earth, and Earth as a temporal trajectory from the present to the 22nd century. Whereas the other two characters have kind of gone totally cosmic and musically and, planet-wise have kind of created this battle o' deities at this level. Sooner or later, both of them are going to say, okay, it's going to be all about Earth. And the two of you are there, having been all about Earth.
Okay.
So whether we're gearing up for, who's going to be on whose side for that purpose is going to be a really interesting question. I think that's where we're headed, right? We're headed for the fate of Earth.
Right now.
What's that?
Let's just do a big group conflict right now.
I think next session. I think next session is just going to do it. I mean, all it has to do. I mean, well, let's see. You were the target, right?
Yes, I was.
So therefore, it is. You are the attacking player. You can pull everybody together, no matter who says what for the next. For the next thing, which would be, I think Gordon would be up next, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think Earth's First Mind gets targeted.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure just how you would do that, but
I'm kind of happy enough to leave Calvin there for the moment. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, right. Well,
reasonable
anyway,
amount.
we'll talk more about it, but I think I'm going to call it for the night. But but you're right. I mean, mechanically, just pulling it all together into the big battle for Earth's fate from all these conflicting points of view and who's compatible, who's not, becomes the very, very interesting question.
Okay.
Yeah, we now have what? We have Diamonds and
we've got Diamonds, we've got Demetheus.
Diamonds and the head of Eternus.
Right. We've got Demetheus, who's very much got his own point of view in this regard. He and Diamonds are basically, mortal enemies at this point, or very close. And then we've got Earth's First Mind and Calvin Wu, who are coming together, I think, in their, how can we help humanity actually not be wretched sort of thing. That's kind of, it all really hinges on what Demetheus thinks of humanity.
And he hasn't been around. Like, he created this source of energy and then pissed off into the fringes of the universe. And he's like, they'll be fine.
Right.
I'm sure they'll be fine. So he doesn't know anything about what's going on.
Right.
I'm still not 100% clear on why Demetheus constructed this god-killing weapon to target Diamonds in the first place.
Oh, you weren't there. Yes, things got a little bit adversarial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alex. Alex and Ahel. Explain to those who are absent with how that sort of got a little out of hand.
Demetheus has always thought that Diamond was this kind of. He had this really kind of shitty paternalistic view of Diamond as, this is this spoiled child with new
nice little
cosmic powers.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, with new cosmic powers. He doesn't really know what's the best.
Besides, remember, she took the power of the star that he was trying to take.
Yeah.
To,
okay.
Right. That they didn't get off on the right foot.
Yeah. So he has this shitty paternalistic view on her, and it's like a little bit annoying in that way.
And then it escalated when I confronted him and ended up freezing him and his planet in time.
Oh, okay.
That's not quite exactly what happened. Like, I tried to reason with you. I tried to be nice and talk with you things, and then you were like, "Fuck no." Yes, fake news, man.
Well, and the other thing is that is true right now is that Diamonds is also the last legacy of Chin Lao, because Chin Lao was involved in the apotheosis of Diamonds, and now that Chin Lao's gone, she is the last legacy of that. It may not be meaningful, but as a matter of where she came from, he was involved.
She is the most prominent vestige of his scheme to accelerate human evolution.
Yes, and she still has Chin Lao Temple Chessmaster in her sheet.
That's true. That is still out there. Yeah.
Very
interesting.
So there's still stuff going on with it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Are there any loose hero points floating around?
Yeah.
There should be a few, right?
I still have 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Guys, if you don't spend them, they're gone. So make new abilities now.
I think I just did my last one.
Okay. Can we increase old ones? Because
the original rules say yes, 1 for 1, but I've eliminated that. The only way that abilities go up and down is through contests now for us.
Okay.
So I think that it's better to make new ones and let the contests tell the story.
All right.
I've got a slightly mixed opinion on that. I really like it, but on the other hand, there is such a thing as just too many abilities. But
yeah, and the thing is, right now I don't know what to add because I haven't played that catch in this session. I've done my.
The way that I suggested is that you make the non-player characters more interesting by putting stuff on your sheet about them.
In that case, I will spend 1 point to create a Serene Contemplation ability for Chin Lao.
There you go. There you go. Always accessible. Yeah.
And I'm thinking of creating ability for either Cynthia or...
I just want diamonds to be on everybody's sheet.
Okay. I mean, I have to create an ability for the producer.
That's
doesn't really will.
That's right.
What was his name?
Dillinger.
Dillinger. Yeah, that would be. I don't know. I don't see him as personal necessarily, but maybe.
So
it's up to you. I mean, he came in that space armada. That's pretty super.
Actually,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to make Ken a supervisor at the Responsible Parenthood firm.
Yes, perfect. That's
So we can have some contact with Cynthia.
That's good.
Yeah, if we had been doing this from the beginning, we would have created a much more interesting network across all the sheets by now. Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 abilities I want to add. Although the name of one of them might change. So I have the Song of Zebediah, which is cosmic ability. That's Zebediah's become a cosmic song.
Okay.
No.
So I think if I'm calculating right, I think I am. I think I only spent a hero point to bump my aid up a little bit. So I actually have 2. So I can add seeking all children of Kin Lao. Because one of the things that became clear in talking with him that was that this was not his only child here. Prometheus, I'm sorry, Azimuth was not his only child. And in fact, we know that Diamonds is sort of. So that'll be my connection to Diamonds, is that I am now worried about the children of Kin Lao.
Okay, then.
Just remember, you can actually put traits of Diamonds onto your own sheets. Nothing wrong with that. So
I've added 2 abilities. So there's the Song of Zebediah ability, and another ability that I've added is Cosmic. I might change the name of this. Cosmic Goddess of the Guiding Star. And that's actually going to be a cosmic ability.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Long past time for that, in my opinion. Has everybody filled up their abilities?
I want to do something about Diamond. I think to represent my grudge with her. My grudge. I don't necessarily hate her or anything like that. It's more something like I know what's better for her. At least I think that.
Guys, this is just too much fun. I can't believe this. Every time I say, okay, we've taken the playtest as far as it goes, I have to go rewrite stuff. This is falling apart. And then we do something, and I'm like, no, it's not falling apart at all. This is making perfect sense. So,
yeah, the rewriting, like taking the other ability and making it your main one. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm still kind of blown away by that one. I'm still not sure it's totally viable in all cases, but I like it.
I have one more ability that I'm adding on a personal level, which is going to be fuck home.
Fuck what?
Fuck home.
Home?
Yep. Now, when I was Zebediah, I lost the ability because it was destroyed, which was never return home.
Right. Oh, so now that's the end of that. Oh, right then. Fascinating.
I told you all she was going to destroy the earth. I knew it was happening.
I see.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I will talk to you later on. And sooner or later, this is going to be quite the project through the course of this year. So, excellent. Take care.
Yep, you too, sir. Thanks so much.